welcome to another edition of the Friday 13th YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about a new release by a band called Wig Wam, a band from Norway who just released their new album called Out of the Dark. It's a brilliant album. Now, Wig Wam were formed back in 2001 in a city called Halden. In 2001 the band consisted of Sten, Nilsen on vocals. We had guitarist Sten, known as Trond Holter. On bass we have Flash, and drummer Sporty, known as Øystein Andersen. It's kind of interesting how this band came together, Wig Wam. They actually came from some pretty interesting bands. We've got a band called Dream Police. Some of you may know they are up there. And we've also got a band called Arch. They did two fantastic albums, very power metal, kind of Iron Maidenish. They released two albums on Active Records back in the day, which is part of Music for Nations. Now, the band released their debut album in 2004, which was called 667, The Neighbours of the Beast. Kind of an Iron Maiden, I guess, somewhere. Interesting title. The band would release the song In My Dreams for the Eurovision Song Contest and did pretty well for the band. Now, the band have released 5 previous albums. The title is, like I said, the debut album already. We've got Wagamania, which was released in 2006. We have Non-Stop Rock and Roll, 2010. We have Never Say Die, which was released in 2021, and like I said, the new album Out of the Dark, which has just come out recently on Frontier Records. Now, the good thing about this band is they've kept the same lineup throughout the career, which is really, really good. A lot of bands do change over the times, but this band have kept true and they've stayed solid and recorded some really good albums. Now, the album cover is interesting because it was done by the same of DC Comics characters, so it's really, really cool. If you like the DC Comics artwork, then you're really going to like this. Now, the new album comes with 11 songs and it clocks in roughly at 44 minutes. So the songs on this album are Out of the Dark title track. We have High and Dry, Forevermore, Bad Luck Chuck, Uppershut Shazma. We also have Ghost in You, The Purpose, The American Dream, 79, God by Your Side, and Sailor and the Desert Sun. So there you have it, there's the titles for the album, and it's a really, really good album. I've not heard much of this band before, so I've been checking out some of the early material. Now, it's interesting, I've just been listening to the album Never Say Die, and they reckon this band are a glam rock band. I don't think they are, actually. I think they're just a good, solid, hard rock metal band. I guess you could say they could have the edge of a Skid Row in their music, a little bit of Motley Crue. In places, they also remind me of the band Fatal Smile, another great band from Sweden that did some really good albums back in the day. They changed the name to White Trash Heroes, but yeah, this is a really good album, and it's by Wig Wam, and it's called Never Say Die. Now, another band that springs to mind when I've been listening to some of their albums, they kind of remind me of Heat, so if you're a Heat fan, you're really going to like this. Very melodic, a little bit of TNT in there as well. A really good band from Norway. Now, I've been listening to some of the early stuff, like I said, and there's one album in particular, it's called Hard to Be a Rock and Roller. The album cover's kind of funny, they're kind of taking the piss out of Elvis and probably ABBA, but it's a really cool album. They've certainly got a sense of humour, this band. Now, the first song on the new album, Out of the Dark, which is the title track, this very much reminds me of Jaded Heart, a German band. The singer from this band is Johan. He was a Swedish guitar singer, and he sounds fantastic. And this guy kind of reminds me of Johan. It's really, really good. It's got a great melodic vocal range, and it's a really great opening song. Second song is called High and Dry. This kind of reminds me of the first Firehouse album. I thought Firehouse did some really good albums back in the day. Kind of had the LA vibe sound there. They had a little bit of Dokken. This song pretty much has a slight bit of Dokken in it, but it's a really, really good song. Now, the third song's called Forevermore. This kind of reminds me of the Poodles. Poodles are a really good band from Sweden, so if you're into the Poodles, then you're really going to like this. It's melodic, it's got some fantastic vocals, catchy song with some nice guitar playing. It's an all-round perfect song for the album. Now, the next song is called Bad Luck Chuck. This is a pretty cool song. I think it's probably one of the least strongest songs on the album. It's good. It's got a little bit of vibe of Def Leppard in it. Nothing wrong with Def Leppard. They're a great band, certainly back in the early days. But it's not the greatest song on the album. It's not bad, though. Now, the next song is called Uppercut Shazam. This is a really cool song. This could have been the opening track for the album, actually. It's a really packs a punch. It's pretty heavy in places, but it's still got the Norwegian melodic metal vibe there. Next song is called Ghost in You. This is a really cool song. It's one of those songs where you could drive your car, have the window down. It's really well put together. It's definitely a driving song. Some great melodic vocals here, melody hooks. Now, the next song's called The Purpose. This is kind of like a semi-ballad. It's really well put together. It kind of reminds me of TNT, a little bit of Firehouse. It's definitely Scandinavian sounding. And the weird thing about it is, this band are from Norway, and they're not your typical Norwegian band. A lot of Norwegian bands are either progressive, black metal. So this is something interesting for Norway. Now the next song is called The American Dream. This kind of reminds me of one of the songs I talked about earlier called Bad Luck Chuck. It doesn't really pack a real punch on the album. It's pretty good for what it is, but I wouldn't say it's the most strongest song on the album. Next one is an instrumental called 79. This kind of reminds me of what something that John Norum would do, or maybe Gary Moore. Brilliant guitaring on this song, fantastic song. Next song is God by Your Side. This is a really cool song, it's back on form again. So like I said, there's a couple of songs in this album that don't appeal to me, but they could appeal to you. Now the next song is called God by Your Side. This is more on form. This is bringing the album back together again. It's a powerful song, it's very strong, it's really well put together. It's got some fantastic melody hooks, and the vocals are very strong and powerful. And the last song is called Sailor and the Desert Sun. This is a little bit more laid back song, but it's really, really good. It's got a really good groove to it. It's really well put together. It's not the heaviest song on the album, but it's a great closing song for the album. So it's a great album all around. I'm going to give this 4 out of 5. Most of you out there probably give it 4.5, maybe 5. It's just the fact that the two songs that I didn't like on the album that much kind of brought the scale down for the review. So 4 out of 5 is still a good review. I'm going to leave you a link so you can check out a song from this new album. And please leave some comments, let me know what you think of the album. Thanks for watching, Metalheads. More album reviews coming soon. Stay metal.